walking on the brink of the river bank.
Yeah, right? You're right on the edge.
Yes. The most difficult is to get up to the mountains with the canvas and with the paint box.
So you just painted this whole thing from scratch
Yes.
today, right?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
It took about 1.5 hours because the lighting is changing constantly,
Wow.
and you can't basically paint it for a whole day. Some impressionists did it, but they get to the same place each and every time. For example, two
And
times
it's just
a
of the
week.
castle back there, right?
Sorry?
It's just of the Wawel Castle back there?
Yes, correct. The most challenging situation when it's windy, and well, you got a really huge canvas, so it works like a sail.
And you're just using Krakow as like your natural art landscape.
Yes, that's one of my favorite topics, but not the only one. But that's the most developed recently.
Okay, and you're from Krakow?
No, originally I'm from Ukraine.
Okay.
I've been living here for a while.
And then how do you see Krakow as like a art capital? Is Krakow a art capital or a place of art?
That was the main reason what made me move here some time ago, which is a year and a half ago. Because when I visited for the first time, I was wondering, I was fascinated by the volume of art events, of the artists here. And I thought that it must be a very good destination for artists. Well, of course, the reality is different, because though you have a lot of art here, like art galleries, museums, exhibitions, artists, that's not an easy thing to live here as an artist, because that's a very specific product, let's say.
So you feel like it's very competitive?
I wouldn't say that it's very competitive here, but anyway, the art market is very narrowed. You've got just few art collectors or people who can afford it at all.
Okay.
Yeah, all people count their money, but I do not, do not complain, because anyway, I sold here as many paintings as for 1.5 years as for my whole life. That makes sense.
When people think of art capitals, they usually think of places like New York, London, and Paris.
Perhaps.
Should we start considering Krakow as an art capital?
Perhaps. I think that things change with the pace of time, and I do believe that in a very short period of time, in the era of this artificial intelligence, and in the era of images, where we have tons of them everywhere on social media, on billboards, on the television, the computer. I think that something which is handmade, I mean truly handmade, will be appreciated too. But what I love about Krakow, a lot of people know the artists. They know a lot about artists who lived here some time ago. They know a lot of paintings, they visit a lot of exhibitions. And sometimes when I'm visiting the museum, I'm shocked how many people are there. And, to tell the truth, not as many as you can see in London, but we are going that way.
And you think that's because there's a huge appreciation for art in Krakow?
Well, generally people are interested in history, in art, and even among an average citizens, you might find a lot of people who are interested in it, who are doing their paintings as a hobby, visiting a lot of cultural centers. Here we've got a lot of cultural centers, like say places where you can come and for very reasonable price you can paint the picture with some instruction from an artist. What I love too about Krakow, they even homeless people. Sometimes they come to me because I'm a street artist. So I always see like homeless people. They're coming and talking about art.
Nice.
Yeah. They sometimes give some instructions to me, some corrections on the perspective.
Nice.
And the sad thing, that among those people are artists too.
Of course.
Who really appreciates it, because the modern art doesn't look like just nice pictures or nice landscapes.
So you're getting ready now for your next. The next.
Yes. Now I'm mixing the colors.
Okay.
Make it easier.
This is very cool. This kind of, was it hard to find such a thing, like portable art set, or is that kind of common for people who want to do street art?
Yeah, I know. Well, street art is, it's quite developed too. If we talk about murals, for example,
Okay.
there are several in Krakow. Some of them are really nice.
What do you think about the murals in Krakow? There's a lot of murals, and a lot of them look very nice.
Yeah, they are. I love them. They are quite modern. They just do not. They. I think they are like an integral part of the landscape and scenery. So I love them. I love them, and they really make sometimes quite great area. They make it colorful, they make it artistic.
It can be. It seems like some of the artists, they become wealthy after they die.
Yes. You're asking how do they sell art? Well, sometimes when I'm visiting the gallery and I see no people there, I think they're just doing this for fun. I mean, they representing artists and just because they love it.
Yeah.
They're too passionate. Sometimes I also do stuff like that with my wife. So we are doing something for no profit. I mean, artistic like performances, projects. I think the true art lies there, not in the commercial use.
What do you? Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Oh no. I was going to ask you, what do you think about these artists where they just paint like a box, like a red box, and then they put it in the museum, and then they.
Red box?
Yeah, like they'll just paint like a box or something, or they'll just have a canvas that just has 2 colors on it.
If it has an idea in it, it might be interesting, because what the modern art is, in my opinion, is the idea, not the form anymore. So the form might not be nice or even well developed, but the idea behind it might be interesting. But sometimes it's very difficult for me, I must admit, to dive into the ideas of the artists, especially when I read the complicated descriptions of the conception. Let's say if we talk about the abstract art, for example, which is for many people is also a kind of weird art. So if we talk about the abstraction as a decoration, as the nice spot on the wall, which worth a couple of $100, but it looks nicely among the furniture. it's just a decoration, okay? But if we talk about an abstract art as it is, so some years ago, when the artist just went against the academic I don't know, rules or academic communities, let's say, because not the only Bible themes are art, so they declared things like that. Why do we have to paint mythology or biblical motifs? We want to paint something else. And some of them were so bold that they started doing abstraction and the concept of emotions, for example, or the movement on the canvas, or the visual story which is provoking us to dive into our world of imagination, for example. It's too complicated, like the phrase, you can put it on the poster, you know. So, well, I think that it might be interesting, and even if the red box has some conception under it, might be interesting too. You know that black square, right? That by Malevich, right here, Wawel, for example. Some people might see in those dark areas or in the silhouette painting, which corresponds with the shape and of the castle.
You've already
at this stage it's the most expensive. So now it's the most expensive stuff because you can really sell it. It's not like hundreds of other pictures of Wawel. That one is very similar to those we can see, I don't know, under the Florian Gate. You see that dozens of paintings. That's why it doesn't have much value. But this one is better. But of course I'm going to destroy it.
So you're saying you already have
a piece of art, and I love it. I'm looking at it and I really love it. I appreciate the colors, even the composition is interesting.
I love it too, actually.
We're talking here about the shades and lights and the color combination, which generates some emotion, but it's difficult to find the person who will pay for it.
What's interesting is when I see it on this camera here, I can actually see the Wawel.
You see?
Yeah, like maybe the way you're seeing it. Because here, yeah. I mean, this looks actually really nice too. I would really like this, but here I can really kind of see it.
That's the thing, that when the art is unfinished, it provokes our thought to complete the painting in our imagination. And that's another feature of good painting, when we do not depict the reality as the photo camera. No sense of depicting, you know, just documenting the surrounding in the modern era. We have too much documentation already done everywhere.
And what was this before that was painted? What was it before? You said your student had painted that. So what was that exactly?
That was the nude lady, was that,
okay.
The model.
But that's so interesting that on the camera I can actually see the frame of it. I wonder if it's because if it's a smaller frame or just the way the camera.
Yeah, because it makes it smaller, and then your eye is more easily process the image. Because when we are, for example, when we're staying here, that's the trick which I always use with my students. When they paint big canvas, let's say in front of them, staying half of a meter from the canvas, they can't see anything. And sometimes they hate their work. They say, "Oh, I can't do anything because I can't see those awful brush strokes. What happens here?" But when they suddenly come, let's say 5 meters, get 5 meters away from their painting, they can see what's this about. And that's what the great artists do. They always look at their paintings and they walk to and fro during the work. Sometimes they walk dozens of kilometers in front of the easel before they finish the painting.
Wow.
So not an easy job. You see, it's dangerous and not easy.
Yeah.
Don't you mind if I start recording?
No, that's fine.
I also documenting my work
Of course.
for.
I can send you these raw clips as well.
Oh, thanks.
Eventually, I'm going to be editing it
Okay.
into something where we're going to be talking about art in Krakow, and but I'll send you the raw versions as well, so you have the full clips.
Right. Thanks. Yeah, art in Krakow is the separate subject in the Academy of Art. I mean, they study it on the third year. There is the whole subject. It's called the Art of Krakow. So it's worth studying even at the academy.
But more so, my theory is, and what I'm saying is that Krakow is a place for artists. Okay, so what I'm saying, or what I'm trying to say, is that Krakow is not just a place for art for the consumers, but also more so for the creators. It's a art capital in that someone who wants to create art, there's just so much opportunity here.
Yeah, from this perspective it is. I mean, even taking into consideration the oldest art academy in Poland, which has its fantastic history, and which the alumni of the academy are the most prominent artists in Poland, among whom, for example, Malczewski, Mehofer, Wyspiański, of course, those students of famous Matejko, and so on and so on. We can name dozens of them. Wojciech Weiss. And well, it's a good tradition, good history, and of course, if you see the place is quite artistic. It has the spirit of it, and hundreds of artists live here. But you know, when I came here for the first time, when I started getting acquainted with the locals, finding friends, they told me, you know, it's good that you are here. But you know, all our friends who are artists, they have another job. So you see, if you want to live on it, it's quite difficult. But if you find a way, some of the artists, my acquaintances, they say, well, if I didn't sell my art to Warsaw, I wouldn't survive. So they just cooperate with other galleries as well. Oh, again, we are talking about those commercial topics, but
Yeah.
well, sometimes it's necessary, because it's good when you create, when you work, and don't think about that stuff. When it comes naturally, of course, if you like work in this sphere, for decades, naturally you will find your way, but the most difficult is the first decade.
The first decade's the most difficult.
Yes, how to survive
Exactly.
in this first decade. And when I'm looking at the students, art academy students, I'm also a bit worried about their future. Some of them are very talented. When I'm thinking, okay, they will finish, they will graduate from the academy just another couple of years. What are they going to do? Are they going to paint what? Just philosophical pictures with an idea, which is art, for example. So how can they live on it? Will they find grants? But the grants are not always and everywhere, not for everyone. Okay, so what's their destiny? Not everyone will be the art teacher, and it's a miserable story when the artist starts and finishes their artistic life by selling in the street. You can't do it for your whole life. Oh, you can, but
Is this picture going to be almost the same as the other one, or exactly the same?
no, I think not, because as I see from now, it has very nice colorful combinations.
Okay.
which I'm trying to preserve. That's also because of underpainting, which was unusual, and it gives me some new thoughts of how I finish it. That's why I'm going to preserve it I'm going to continue it in a kind of expressionistic manner.
Okay. Is the sun changing back and forth, adding difficulty?
Yeah, sometimes if you're talking about the clouds now, it's not
Okay.
not really, because we have to, as artists, we have to keep it in mind. I mean the colorful and the atmosphere we've just observed, so it's not a problem. And as you see, I'm trying to keep the very strong, colorful relations. I don't want to break them, because when I try to achieve some academic result, that previous painting was quite in quite academic manner. So this one is different. And I think that I'm going to keep it this way, like very strong, very bold, colorful combination.
It's again so interesting on the small screen on this camera that I'm looking at. It looks so different in a way, or not so different, but just so like I can maybe see what you see, because I can't otherwise. Okay, I see it more now, but before I wasn't able to see what you were seeing.
Yes, correct. So that's the trick. And moreover, in the world of modern art, there is no point to make it one-to-one. So that's interesting when you keep some mystery here.
Of course, let the viewer imagine.
Yes, and when it's, I mean, you're interested in texture, in the brush stroke. Oh, I haven't used the brush in this painting, only hands. Sometimes I start with the hands, because the paint, I can like put the paint more evenly when I use the fingers, like at the largest area. But who knows? Knows how it finishes. Each and every painting. The worst thing that artists can do is just to learn the palette by heart. What I mean by that, when they paint, for example, the sky, they use the same colors and the same combination of the same recipes. Let's say for the sky, for the trees, for the buildings. That's the worst thing the artist can do, because each and every painting of theirs will be the same. And sometimes when you see the paintings in the gallery, I mean dozens of paintings made by the same approach, so it might be very boring.
Great. Any last comments you have, whether about your art or Krakow, or about yourself, or anything that you want to say?
Well, I'm happy being here. I'm happy painting Krakow, and that's I think that this city has great art history, and think that the history to come is also be very great.
Great.
Maybe that's it.
And where can we find you next? Are you always in a different location?
Yeah. I just sometimes I paint in the same place, but each and every day I'll try to change the scenery. Where I'll be next, I don't know. Maybe somewhere in the center.
Great. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you.